This is difficult for me. Meghan and Harry, I find this, I feel like there's going to be a little bit of sick in my mouth as I try and describe this.
Prince Harry is now reportedly preparing to unleash legal fire against Lady Colin Campbell and investigative journalist Tom Bower after their televised revelation detonated like a royal earthquake. Their claim? Archie and Lilibet may be Harry's children, but they were not biologically born of Meghan Markle. The allegation struck at the very heart of the Sussexes' carefully crafted narrative, one polished with Netflix deals, primetime confessions, and a steady drip of victimhood branding. That public image of a couple persecuted yet principled is fracturing in real time. No choreographed pap stroll, no teary Oprah sit-down can smother this blaze. With calm precision, Lady C delivered the line that froze the room and sent ripples from Hollywood to Buckingham Palace. Archie and Lilibet are Harry's, but they were not born of Meghan Markle. The words hung in the air, and for a moment, even the cameras seemed to hesitate.
And then they had their little children, and the feral children, and they left them with the chickens. And all she does now with her jams that are crap is post pictures of her children.
Then chaos. Within hours, headlines exploded across the globe. Prince Harry didn't brush it off, didn't issue a calm denial. He went straight into overdrive, threatening to sue both Lady Colin Campbell and Tom Bower, branding their revelation as a disgusting invasion of privacy. The response was fast, fierce, and most tellingly emotional. If the claim was so absurd, why not simply dismiss it with a smirk? Why launch into legal threats? Why not shut it down with one clean, confident denial? Because deep down, Harry must sense it. The public isn't blindly buying the fairy tale anymore. And the questions? They've been simmering for years, just waiting for the first spark to bring them roaring into the open.
We're playing it. She's waiting for she's twerking with the baby to try and make the baby come. This is to induce Lilibet's birth. She's done.
Remember that notorious moving baby bump moment? Clips spread like wildfire online, showing Meghan's belly oddly shifting shape whenever she bent or walked, and people could not stop talking. Was it just clever padding? Could it have been a prosthetic? Why did her pregnancy seem to appear in some shots and vanish in others? The palace stayed completely silent. No hospital named, no official doctor confirmed, not a single public record. Everything was carefully staged, framed, and kept under tight control. For a couple who publicly claims to value transparency and truth, the way Meghan and Harry managed both Archie and Lilibet's births felt less like real royal history and more like a glossy Hollywood production. The Meghan image machine was in full swing, polished, scripted, and fiercely guarded. What truly infuriates royal critics is just how calculated the entire storyline now feels.
Dancing to about getting that child support.
Sorry, you got it. I'm sorry. The greatest moment in British. Just do that. Just do that again. Jodie is on the floor, which hasn't been the first time. Just do again what you just said. This is what she's done.
Meghan Markle, once an actress, has always been laser focused on image. Every appearance, every smile, every camera angle is meticulously managed. Now that fixation has spilled over into her family life. Instead of embracing the truth, whatever it may be, Meghan has doubled down on presenting a flawless royal facade. She reveals only what she wants the world to see. But that carefully crafted picture is starting to crack. When you hide simple facts like where your child was born, who delivered them, or why no doctors ever spoke up, people start asking questions.
And I can do what I wanna.
My God. Is it me? Is it me, or is there nothing this woman... Is she ever going to get to the point where she literally looks in the mirror and goes, nobody's interested in my jam or my life, nobody likes me, shut the hell up?
I mean, this is
It only makes the suspicion grow stronger. Prince Harry's reaction to Lady C and Tom Bower's claim wasn't calm or strategic, it was downright explosive. Insiders reveal he threatened to sue multiple outlets and even contacted his legal team before the interview had finished airing. Reports also claim he warned networks they'd be held responsible for giving conspiracy theorists a platform. But here's the twist. Lady C and Tom Bower are not conspiracy theorists. They're seasoned, thoroughly researched, and legally cautious, with a proven track record of facing lawsuits and walking away clean. They choose their words with precision, and when they speak publicly, it matters.
Into here.
Yeah.
But instead, we've heard everything. Every grievance, every private conversation, every subtle slight turned into a headline, from Oprah to Spotify to Netflix, to staged whispers in People magazine. It's been non-stop.
They usually have proof documents or solid sources to back up what they say. So why did Harry react like someone caught red-handed? Because legal threats have become his go-to escape route. He's used them time and time again against tabloids, biographers, and even everyday social media users. But this time, the stakes are higher than ever. This isn't just about bad press, it's about a core lie that could completely destroy the public image he and Meghan have so carefully built. The reality is, Harry and Meghan are no longer working royals, yet they've created a commercial empire fueled by royal titles and prestige. Their entire brand hinges on the picture-perfect image of a modern royal couple raising two beautiful children.
And to make them feel like allegedly Diana felt in the end. All of this, that was what the escape was about. And I've said it so many times it bores me. I got it at that point. When they got on that plane, I got it. But the minute you sign a $100 million deal with Spotify and now you're posting yourself twerking, this is getting worse, this video.
People want answers, real answers. And if Harry and Meghan can't or won't provide them, others will step in. That's exactly what Lady C and Tom Bower just did, and it sent the Sussexes into full meltdown mode. One glaring truth remains: Prince Harry's aggressive legal threats have only supercharged the scandal. Instead of shutting the claims down, he's poured gasoline on the flames. Now the questions are piling up. What are they hiding? Why the extreme defensiveness? And most importantly, will the truth finally be dragged into the open in court? Next, we dig into the evidence behind Lady C and Tom Bower's claims, the hidden world of surrogacy, secrecy in elite circles, and what legal discovery could uncover if Harry actually pushes this lawsuit forward.
Unless you're a masochist. You're right. What made Princess Diana so unforgettable wasn't just her vulnerability, it was the restraint.
Yeah.
She chose moments. Meghan shares like she's live tweeting a breakup in real time. There's no pacing, no sense of occasion. And when you constantly...
Lady Colin Campbell has spent decades dissecting the royal family, and she does not toss out claims for shock value. So when she stated that Archie and Lilibet are Harry's children but not Meghan's biologically, she knew exactly how explosive her words would be. She also made it clear she wasn't guessing. She strongly hinted her information came from royal insiders deeply unsettled by the alleged cover-up. Tom Bower, just as cautious, echoed the bombshell on the same broadcast, confirming there is evidence suggesting Meghan used a surrogate for both children and that this fact was deliberately hidden from the public and even from certain members of the royal household itself.
They called her Eva, named after, I think, one of the, was it Joan Crawford from the 1990 camp classic Queen Bee?
Yeah, those are actually pretty tame compared to what I hear on the streets of Los Angeles. So I think that they should encourage those versus what people say about.
According to Bower, this was no accident. It was a calculated operation. He claims Meghan planned the deception herself and carried it out with total control over media access, hospital disclosures, and official records. In other words, what Meghan and Harry presented to the world was a picture of motherhood built for appearances, not reality. And here's the key: using a surrogate is not shameful. Families everywhere turn to surrogacy for personal, medical, or health reasons. The scandal isn't in the choice, it's in the cover-up. If Meghan had simply admitted a surrogate was used, many believe the public would have applauded her honesty. Instead, she rolled out a tightly choreographed narrative, complete with worn baby bumps, disappearing from sight near due dates, and drip-feeding vague, filtered details that only fueled more questions than answers.
Or of the fire damage and devastation. So,
and the Billie Eilish business, right?
Oh my gosh. Whenever I do a good deed, I like to name drop 30,000 people that don't even like the post or acknowledge that I'm giving them a shout out.
Absolutely right. And also,
in the royal world where tradition and public trust are everything, deception can be deadly. The notion that two royal children were born via surrogate while the public was led to believe otherwise for the sake of image isn't just scandalous. It's a deep institutional betrayal. If Harry follows through with his lawsuit threats, he could be dragged into full legal discovery. That means producing hard evidence, hospital records, prenatal care logs, sworn physician statements, and any legal documents tied to the birth registrations. This is not theory. Courts don't work on just trust me. They demand proof. And if Meghan and Harry's story doesn't match the reality, that courtroom could explode into the ultimate stage for a bombshell royal exposure.
Because he's got enough problems with his wife, which was classic Trump. He apparently decided in his speech to say that basically he didn't think there was much moral leadership in the world, which everybody thought was a bit of a swipe at Trump. But a pretty rich of old Prince Harry, a man that used to parade around.
Legal experts are already warning this could blow up in Harry's face spectacularly. In trying to silence Lady C and Tom Bower, he might accidentally drag the very truth he's desperate to hide into the spotlight. One of the most striking elements here is the royal family's complete silence. In past controversies, from the Oprah interview to the Netflix series, and even the racism allegations, Buckingham Palace offered calm but measured responses. But not this time. Sources close to the palace say it's deliberate. With Meghan and Harry no longer working royals, the firm is letting them swing the sword themselves. Insiders whisper that many in the palace already know the truth about the children's births, but stayed quiet out of respect for the Queen's memory and to avoid further institutional shame. Now, with the Queen gone and Harry firing shots from all directions, that shield is gone. And in Hollywood, image is everything.
I'm so glad that Lady C made this point, Rita. And also, I don't know if you've heard Tom Bower discuss how David Beckham showed up to support Prince Harry at Invictus. And he was overheard saying, "When do I get to see Harry? Can I see?"
Meghan built her public brand on empowerment, motherhood, and transparency. But those foundations are now starting to crumble. Major producers, media executives, and even former collaborators are reportedly growing uneasy with how much of her image seems built on half-truths. When the Spotify deal collapsed, insiders whispered it wasn't just about poor numbers, it was about broken trust. Netflix is said to be feeling the heat too, facing pressure to reassess future projects if the family narrative turns out to be fabricated. Big brands want nothing to do with royal deception, and if surrogacy was hidden purely to make Meghan appear more royal or to profit from the illusion of a perfect family, that's not privacy, that's fraud. As this saga unfolds, public support for the Sussexes is plunging fast.
Reports that Meghan Markle put the kibosh on David getting any photos with Prince Harry at Invictus because she felt like David and Victoria would outshine her in some way, so she wanted to make sure that they weren't photographed together and didn't allow Harry.
Social media, once overflowing with defenders and sympathizers, has turned sharply against them. Even mainstream giants like The Times, The Telegraph, and major U.S. networks are starting to question the very narrative they once accepted without hesitation. People are asking, if Harry has nothing to hide, why the urgent need to sue? Why is Meghan so fiercely protected yet so reluctant to speak openly? Why are the children kept hidden in a family famous for proudly displaying its heritage? And here's the twist, the more the couple demands silence, the louder those questions become. If Harry follows through on his legal threats, he could unleash one of the most explosive and damaging public trials in modern royal history.
So embedded with this amazing Invictus Games thing that he had invented, that, he loved it more than anything else. And that she said, the great thing is that we're all part of one big family. You're my family and you're his family. And all I could think of was, well, she's obviously trying to say that he doesn't have a family because they're all horrible racists. They all live in England.
What started as a routine interview has now exploded into a catalyst for tearing apart a story built on secrecy and shielded by silence. As the world watches for Harry's next move, one fact stands firm. Once the truth enters a courtroom, there's no pulling it back. And if that truth doesn't match the version Harry and Meghan have been selling to the public, the fallout won't just tarnish their brand, it could obliterate it.